We've already got to Torah Lamed Ches in the Kutub, and funny enough, we're in Torah Lamed Ches, 38th Torah in Tanya, so we've accomplished. And it's a little bit Ian. It's not like so kitzer as maybe a lot of other people learn with chitas, which I do also, which thank God I've been doing since 1998, so 99. It's a long time of doing chitas. Baruch Hashem, also listening to a lot of shiurim from many tzaddikim. I'm not going to go into the whole list now. We'll save that for the Tanya one. But with Rabbi Nachman, Baruch Hashem, I was zocher to learn in Breslov shiurim in the years of the end of the 90s. I started going there by Reb Maimon back then, all the way back then, and the Nate's Minyan, and there's Baruch Gartner, and then there was a guy called Shlomi Lipschitz. I think it's got a slightly different name now, but there's a lot of Breslov tzaddikim I had the chance to sit and learn the Kutub by Reb Moshe Chanet. These are people. Reb Moshe Chanet's a big gon. He's just very hidden. People don't know who he is because he doesn't want people to know who he is. But he was by all the big Rabbonim in the Lvivitch world, the Chassidus world, and Breslov world, and also Chabad as well. So he's someone who had the chance to sit and learn by many big Rabbonim back in the day, and all the way through till now. We're in 2025. It's been a long time. So in the merit of all those good teachers and all the online shiurim, the plentiful Baruch Hashem nowadays, and also in the merit of Rabbi Nachman ben Feiga, ben Simcha, we're learning tomorrow, they should shine into us what we need to learn. Amen. And the chizzuk we need to learn, and we keep it short. That's the good news. We're not trying to be marech. We're not trying to take anyone's time. Like 10-15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes max. You can check the YouTube playlist and see that generally 20 minutes, 25 minutes is the max pushing it. So today we're going to go for try be under 20 minutes, and we're finishing off Torah Lamed Ches. So the good news is that by next week we'll be starting a fresh Torah, and the next week's fresh Torah are on the themes of peace, shalom. We all need shalom. Eating. In a shtibul, family meaning Jews love to eat. Yeah? Bounty, we all need shefa. Everyone here needs shefa, including myself. The covenant, that's the bris kodesh. A big part of Rabbi Nachman's ASIC and focus was helping us with Tikkun Klali with the bris kodesh. I just got the new sefer from Gedalia Fenster on surrender. Maybe I'll bring it next week as well when I come to learn. We'll find something from there as well. And he's a big chassid over the Rabbi Nachman, and he told me 2018 that he's going to start writing his book. So he's been in that book for 7 years. It only came out now. I just got it from London when I was there last week. That's why we weren't learning last week so much. But he talks about the Bris Kodesh, marital relations. He told me in 2018, the main focus we're going to try to bring out is Yesod, Kedushas Yesod. And that's someone in Miami, looking the way he looks, in the world he's coming from, is a big tikkun. Because the stuff in the busyness of life that the Yesod can sometimes be forgotten about. So Rabbi Nachman's going to help us with that. That's going to be next week. We're going to begin Torah Lamed Tes, which is the 39th Torah, and children. Yeah, that's what comes out of all this hard work. The children, the nachas. So we'll get to that next week. We're just to finish off this week, and it's very good that Ari's here, because Ari had the merit many times to learn together this Torah. It's been taking us, I would say, maybe 2 months. There was a bunch of times we didn't learn it in the shtibur, we learned it on the road. Remember, on the way to simchas and other good things that we did together, Baruch Hashem. And one of the main themes was fixing up dibur, speech, how we speak. And it has a big nafkamina, because we start off with Am Avinu. I'm just going to say a little bit of the end of the Torah. It says about Am Avinu. It says, by learning Torah at night, we bring down a thread of loving kindness. Right now we're in the morning, Baruch Hashem, so the loving kindness is felt. But the first light of the morning, these spoken words ascend and become Bat Avraham. Yeah, this week's Parsha is Lech Lecha, and we're going up to Vayera, the light of Avraham, of Chesed, of kindness. And it comes through Torah. It's not just by doing Ma'asim Tov actions of positive actions. Amravina was was called Or Sha'avram, Avram's Or. Reb Tzadok brings that he didn't just give food and drink to the people that came to his home like the shtibul does, but he also gave light. People need light. People need chizzuk and inspiration. In some ways that's even more important, especially for our generation. There's so much choshech, and we're coming now to the winter months. We need the light even more. And that became Avram, Bat Avram. As the sages say, teach us, Avram had a bat. Nasa Bat Avram. K'mo Bat Haisalola Avram B'chol Shema. Her name was B'chol. But Yam has the same numerical value as Bako. And that was the whole Inyan in this end of this Torah. He talks about how all the chariots of Paro and all the people who were chasing us, which continues till now, they were drowned in the Yam. They were drowned in the sea. The Yam is Gematria Bako. So this is Rabbi Nachman making a connection between the daughter of Avram with the Kriyas Yamsuf and Biyam. Biyam is Gematria Bako, which we know is also Gematria Ben, which is also Gematria Eliyahu, which is my name. So, Baruch Hashem. So we have the idea of bringing down a tremendous Gilui through Avram Avinu's just having a daughter is already helping us with our enemies in future generations. This is what we have to realize with Ma'aseh Avos Siman L'Bonim. Everything that happens with Avram and Yitzhak Yaakov and these Parshias are giving Chizzuk to the Bonim for all the generations, for all the children of Avram and Yitzhak Yaakov. And it says Vaita, he says the Torah is called a threefold teaching. This is a very deep concept, but Nikra Raisa Tilisai. We hear about it in Shas and also in the Zohar, but the concept is that there's a threefold teaching. There we have Torah is divided into Torah, prophets, and writings, which we know as Tanakh, Torah, Nevi'im, Kesuvim, and it's also Avram, Yitzhak, Yaakov. We also know that Moshe Rabbeinu was the third child. The concept of the third month, Sivan, the Torah is given on Chodesh Sivan. This concept of the third, I was the third child as well, Hashem. This idea that Torah is the third, it's three, and threefold teaching. It says in Gemara Shabbos, Asher B'charta B'Avram, that who selected Avram, Perish Ayidei Torah Ayidai Isora Midas Avram Ayidane Takina Dibur, because Avram was the one who was fixing up Dibur, speech. And what we have to realize is the Hashgacha Pratis that we're learning L'Kutei Moharan, and every time we learn, it connects into the Parsha, connects into the Zman, and this is all began with Chavrusa of Eliyahu Shaf with the Baruch from Rav Shlomo Katz about 2 years ago. Now tonight is the Yotzai of Rav Meir Shapiro. So we're going to switch. This is an important Gabbai note for Daniel Sass to remind everyone. Saying Talamata Lebracha. You have to remind everyone the saying Talamata Lebracha is Zayin Cheshvan. It's also the Yotzai of Meir Shapiro. So Meir Shapiro was the one who was the Baal Daf Yomi. He brought Daf Yomi into the world. What's the connection?
Only in Eretz Yisrael that we switch.
Right, only in Eretz Yisrael. So Chiznikim out there, you only switched later on, I think sometime in December. December 4th. I forget because I've almost never been there when it was, thank God, it's not really my home since I started keeping Yiddishkeit, so I don't remember that Messias, but I've been there, after that time and probably had to switch. But the main Nekuda is that tonight is Zayin Cheshvan. Zayin Cheshvan is a big Zman. We've already had a lot of big Yotzais, the Rishona and the P.S. Netzer, the Eish Kodesh, and we had Rebbe Vadia, but tonight is the Daf Yomi Rebbe. And the Daf Yomi is an exact similar flow. When whoever joins in feels Hashgacha Pratis, feels divine providence. Now, Shlomo is not into so much in the Daf Yomi, but Baruch Hashem, I am. And Rabbi Eli Stefansky and other Tzaddikim, other Rabbonim out there are big behind the Daf Yomi. Not everyone took it on, so that's why Baruch Hashem, there's different room for different opinions about it. But what we need to do in the Shtibur is just get the Chizzuk, the fact that it's coming down a big shefa of divine energy. Zayin Cheshvan, a big shefa comes down of saying Talamata Lebracha. Bracha is the key. You want to do business, you need bracha. With Shmuel Diamond, we've spoken about him here. We used to talk about him usually in Tanya because he has a great summary on it. So he always used to say to me, we need bracha. It's not enough just to have panasa. You can have panasa. You can go after this, go hustle, make some deals and this and that. But we need bracha. We need things to not break in our home, our car not to break. We need bracha. In the shul, this can be such a, as they call it, a nozzle, like a hole in our panasa when all the time money is getting pulled away in all these different directions. So bracha makes the kli, makes the vessel to hold all the shefa that's coming down. And that's the key in there, so that things won't break. And then all the panasa you're making will have a kiyum and be used for Torah mitzvahs. We have to have a schus for this. This is something we have to daven for. It's part of the tefillah of saying Talamata Lebracha, that it should have a kli for all the shefa that's coming, either Baruchnias, because there's the Maina Shel Torah, the waters of Torah, and Chassidus, and then there's the Maina Shel, Gashmis. We need a bracha in both, that we should have a kli for all this, what we're learning. He goes on to say, Rabbi Nachman, V'chein kol basa yitba v'nukba tuhuma rabazu. This is an end to all flesh, will be drowned in the hollow of the great deep. This is Tubu Biyam Suf Suf Hu Bechinas Kates Kol Basa Shudavak Biyam Hadibu. Remember, this whole thing is talking about fixing speech. Yitba Benukba Tuhuma Rabba Ayde Boka. Boka is the Avraham, which is Oya Ayde Torah. The morning of Avraham, which is aroused through Torah. Remember, the learning, we think Avraham is Midas Chesed, but it comes together with the awe of Torah, the awe of the morning, the light of the morning, the Torah's Chesed. And we have said that in Shmoneh Esrei, Torah's Chesed. We have to always have in mind, like in Eishes Chai as well, Torah's Chesed. That our Torah is Torah of Chesed, that it gives Chizzuk to people, it gives inspiration, it's kind Torah, that helps our family. One of the things I had to learn the hard way, teaching in yeshivas, I've taught in many yeshivas. Shari Yishalayim was my first yeshiva. I taught it all the way through Ner Jake, Neve Sion. These are old places of people where we don't remember so much. But back in the day, Netzach, there's a lot of yeshivas that had the schus there, a lot of yeshivas. And one of the things I learned also with having children in Hinnuch, it has to be Torah's Chesed. It has to be given over with Chesed. Because once you go the path of Musa, generally the guys have stomach aches. Or you're just going to hurt them. You're not going to build them. And the same with, even more so with the wife. There's almost no point going that path of trying to criticize or give Musa. It's a complete failed path in Shalom Bayis. The only way is Torah's Chesed, is Torah of kindness. To be mechazik, and this is the morning that we're waking up every day with this kindness, the kindness of the family, meaning the kindness of Shir David. Whichever place you're at, it should be with kindness. And that's Avraham Avinu B'Kol. He had everything. With everything, B'Kol is also his daughter, but it also means B'Kol. It means B'Kol Mikol Kol. The Avraham and Yitzhak and Yaakov, they bring us a son, Samech B'Helko. And that's an important Torah. So that was the end of the last part of Torah Lamed Ches, Mazel Tov. It took us a while. And right at the end, he does this whole beautiful summary. I'm just going to read it because it's so deep, and it's you'd have had to be there during this whole Torah to really get the depth of what he's saying. I'll just read it very quickly in English, and we're Messiah with this, and just everyone should just get chizik, knowing that when you put on tefillin in the morning as well, there's tremendous kavanas, there's tremendous tikkunim going on every time you put on your tefillin. And Rabbi Nachman is the huge tzaddik, and maybe even bordering on nevuah in terms of how he's revealing inside the mitzvah such kavanas, such sodas. This lesson contains the mystical kavanas and meditations of tefillin. As has been explained within the lessons itself, it points out all the meditations of tefillin are included in the notes on this Torah. The erudite, the people who work hard in learning, will understand how this is so. Still, an extension and anticipation required to clarify the matter well. If God comes to my aid, the matter will be explained elsewhere with God's help. So obviously this is something which is going to need more explanations, everything we learned till now. And we'll just end off with this. From his holy lips I heard a listing of a number of lessons, after which he said they all contain the mystical meditations of Tefillin. I think this is Rabbi Nosson talking in the name of Rabbi Nachman. These were the lessons. The Chatzorsis, the Kol Shofar. Remember we learned about the Shofar in this Torah. We had Rosh Hashanah, it was around Rosh Hashanah time, perfect timing. Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am Hashem your God. We learned about the oneness of Hashem. That was coming up during the 10 days of Tshuva and everything. Koretz, Yeshua, the idea of Yeshua and having Yeshua's Mia Ish Chafetz Chaim, the idea of speech and who wants life. Vatem Tia Lemlechetz Kohanim, that you will be a nation of priests. There's no bigger time during Tishrei to get ready. The Am Yisrael, a nation of priests. We always talk about it at Shavuos, but the real sod of being a nation of priests is really actually continued through to Yom Kippur, because that's when we got the second luchas. That we're all being given a second chance now. This whole winter is a chance to internalize the light and the gifts we got from Tishrei. So we become a nation of priests. Asher Am Zarka, and this lesson, Markeves Paro V'Yichelo, this is what we were just talking about now, throwing the chariots of Paro in the Yam, as well as a good number of the lessons which I cannot presently recall. So even here he said, I can't presently recall how much lessons we got from this one Torah Lamed Ches, and he said they all contain the mystical meditation to fill in. Happy is he who merits comprehending them. I'll just say one nakuda that we came up again and again that sticks out in my mind is the concept of bina, of understanding. Really, bina is something we associate more with noshim. They have a bina yasera, an extra intuition. But what we learn from this Torah is that by connecting to the Tzaddikim, connecting to Moshe Rabbeinu, connecting to these holy Torahs, we get much more understanding about what's going on a little bit more in our Yiddishkeit. And it opens up the doors, especially when we wear tefillin. That is a free way of accessing that bina. There's this very powerful bina by wearing tefillin. And that understanding gives us insights to why we're doing this whole Yiddishkeit thing. And we don't have to have the answers. We do it with tamimus, like this week's parsha. Avinu gives us chizzuk that we can be tamim. We do it with a pshuta. We don't have to always know what's going on, but it's very inspiring when we do. And so when it's there for us to grow in our Yiddishkeit, to give us that extra chizzuk, as we're saying, this is chizzuk from Chassidus. We're getting chizzuk from it. Then it's to Elis. When it makes us confused and makes us philosophical and all this stuff, that's not where we're heading anyway. That's not my goal anyway, with learning Chassidus. And I tell you firsthand, I was just in London, I end off with a story, and I saw with my own eyes that there was a certain Amunah Peshuta from my Chevra. Now a lot of them aren't keeping Torah mitzvahs fully, but we've been talking about it in the Shiurim and Rav Shlomo, and it's come up a lot in this generation's conversation and this generation's consciousness, and I feel it over here as well, that there's a certain awakening of connection to Hashem, which is not totally on how frum we are. It's beyond that. It's beyond frumkeit. It's almost like an old story. It's about now how much we're connecting into God together as a community, and it's connecting in a very deep, profound way, and it's beyond all the philosophical arguments and everything else. And that's what I saw with my friends, that there's a deep need for them to connect to kashrus. We had a kosher barbecue with guys who generally don't. Everything was kosher. A professional butcher barbecue guy, one of my friends, came down and kashered all his kalim in front of us together. We did it. We kashed it in the fire, and we did it the lefi halacha, and we bought the most kosher meat we could get hold of, and everything was of silver foil, and we made this amazing kosher fire pit barbecue. We put up a mezuzah on my friend's home, this manor house in the country, and all kinds of mitzvahs. They all said amen to brochas. We had honey from the Talmud Rebbe, which we poured on the chicken. Everyone was so excited. They kept asking me about what's that about. They were interested because they want to connect. It wasn't about we weren't getting all technical about kashrus and all this stuff. No, that wasn't the conversation. It was more just getting the mitzvah done and now tuning into the connection that it brings. And the connection it brought us as a group of friends. By the end of the night, we were sitting by a fireplace, playing music and just connecting. And I feel like that is what this minyan's about. That's where we've all come back to Israel to really connect. I came to it. I did tshuva not for the black hat or any of the garb or any of the cultish vibes going in the Jewish world. I came for connection to Hashem, for Mashiach. Honestly, that was my ikar kavanah. I wanted to see unity. I wanted to see Am Yisrael come together. That's my whole bookings focus. I want to see people come together in events and through online content that's unifying, that brings people together. And that's for me the big attraction towards the derech of the Baal Shem, because you see it opens up the gates of Yechidim. Shar Nun Bina is the gate of tshuva, and it's the gate of understanding, and it's the gate of bringing everything to a yichud, to unification. And that's what I hope, Be'ez Hashem, by us learning, we'll see more of that in our daily Yiddishkeit. And once we get next week, you see it's already going to go into a lot of very practical subjects and not be so Kabbalistic like it was this last Torah. And I'm looking forward to go on that journey with whoever can make it. It's online anyway, so if you can't, you can always watch it, listen to it, share it. And even more important, make your own classes. That's what this place is about. Not everyone's here to teach. And it's interactive, so if you have something to say, controversial, I'm all for it. Let's go.